This delicious, healthy, low-salt wonton soup comes from China, halfway around the world to my kitchen right here in Wakefield, Rhode Island. Welcome back to my kitchen. We've just shopped at Belmont Market for wonton soup for Asian Week, and we've got everything we need to make a nice wonton soup at home. It's gonna be great, you're gonna love it. Going over our ingredients, make sure we have everything we need. Starting with our chicken broth, our pea pods, soy sauce, wonton wraps, our ground turkey, shallots and cilantro to flavor the broth, some scallion after, and some fresh ginger. Okay, let's start by getting some broth heated up. Okay, we're going to flavor that broth with the shallots and the cilantro. Let's get some broth in here. For all of this is a good 4 to 6 servings. It's just it can be an appetizer or it can be a meal. All right, all the broth is in there. I'm using my wok. You can use a stock pot. Let's just put this aside for a second and chop up a shallot. Shallot, shallots, tomato, who knows? All right, there we go. So we chop off both ends of our shallot. I like to say shallots, like Gene shallot. Don't ask me for an impression of Gene shallot. I don't think I do one. All right, so we're just going to get these chopped up. This is just, a coarse chop. It's just for flavor. These are not going to remain in the broth. We're going to strain all this after. Okay, we're just going to get some shallots in there and a nice bunch of cilantro. Love it. It just gives it that nice Asian flavor. Let's get this on the stove, get it simmering, and we'll work on our mix, our stuffing mix for our wontons.
Hey, this is Jack, and I just love the little bowl of meat inside the noodle floating in the broth with the pea pod. You gotta love wonton soup.
Wonton soup. A little bit of work, but it's fairly quick and easy. All right, this is just over a pound of some nice ground turkey. Okay. And to that, we're going to add some soy sauce. Okay. This is pretty much what you get when you get your wonton soup out. Going to flavor that up with some soy sauce. All right, I've got about 3 or 4 tablespoons in there, and we're going to grate some ginger. So let's take a little peel off that ginger. All right, take a little peel off that ginger and get some grated ginger going. All right, just enough to get, not too much of that ginger spice, but it's enough to flavor it. You can always add a little bit of powdered ginger in too if you don't have the fresh. All right, so there's probably about half a teaspoon or so, okay? And I like a little bit of the white end of the scallion in there as well. That's nice flavor. So let's have 2 and maybe 4 of our scallion. Nice color, nice flavor, and nice texture. Okay, so there we go. Just trim those back. We can save those for garnish later on top. We'll chop the other ends, okay? So let's just get a little bit of this. Keep your knuckles back. If you're used to chopping, you probably find I've never cut myself cutting because you keep your knuckles forward and your fingertips back. So here's what it looks like. All right. There we go. Just let it guide on the knuckles. And once you get it coarse chopped, we're going to chop it up just a little bit finer. Okay, but there's nothing wrong with some nice, tasty, sweet, tangy bits of scallion in your wonton. Just delicious. And of course, you can vary this yourself. If you like lemongrass, pick up some lemongrass and use that. Whatever you like. We're going to encourage creativity with what's cooking, because every time I make something, it's always a little bit different. Otherwise, what happens? It gets boring. So let's get the ground turkey, the scallion, and the ginger, and the soy sauce mixed in nicely. I'm going to add a little bit more soy sauce. You can tell as it absorbs in what you need. You want to get that soy flavor in there. I'm going to add some of this great Belmont spiced ginger, dry ginger, as well as my fresh ginger. I just want to incorporate a little bit more in because that's an important balance between the soy, the ginger, and the scallion. All right, so don't be afraid to experiment. Don't have to be exact. It'll still be delicious. It'll just be a little bit different, a little bit more interesting each time. So as you can see, we're starting to get a good blend. You want to make it all one, okay? And you want to get that brown soy sauce mixed in, okay? And see, you can add an egg, but in this case, this turkey is ground so nicely and it's so soft that it looks like it's going to hold together nicely. The egg, maybe for beef, maybe for pork, but it really looks good. I'm not even going to add the egg to bind it. It looks terrific the way it is. We're going to form this into some nice little balls and fold that right into our wonton. Our meat filling is mixed up nicely, so let's get our wontons ready. All right, we'll lay a few out on the cutting board. Here we go. These are great. You don't have to worry about making a fresh noodle when you've got these. And of course, homemade ravioli. Slice these up for noodles, wide or thin. The wonton wraps or the long, bigger ones are great for so many things. And I just love them. They're terrific. These are going to be great. Now let's lay 6 out. So these wonton wraps are just so multi-purpose. They're perfect for so many noodle dishes, ravioli, as I said. Okay, so let's get these wontons filled. First, you just dab your fingers in some water and run it around the edge. Run it around the edge of each one of these so that when we fold it over, it sticks real nice. Okay? Easy enough. All right, just a quick one pass over each side of the wonton. Just wetting it. Doesn't have to be super wet. Almost like wetting an envelope. Okay. Here we are. And let me get 6 of these. Enough to make, oh well, we'll put 3 or 4. We'll be generous. We'll put 3 or 4 wontons in a bowl, right? Okay. Are we ready to form some little balls of filling? All right. You can roll them in your hands. You know, plop them in the middle. Okay, about the size of a quarter, you know, in diameter. Okay. If they're too big, you're not going to be able to close up your noodle wrap. Okay. Here we are. You can see the scallion, the ginger, the soy. It smells great and looks great. And of course with the turkey, I think it's going to be nice and tender. You won't get that hardness of the filling that you might with the beef and the pork. All right, just enough, not too much. Here we go. Roll them up, pinch them together. And as I said, it just smells great. Ginger, soy, and the scallion. All right. So we've got 6 wonton wraps ready to fold over and put them together. Let's see how they go. Here we go. Fold it over. Go point to point, right? You can pick it up like this, point to point, and just fold it down. And just pinch it and push the meat towards the middle. All right. There it is. There it is. See how nice? Get a nice little triangle. You can kind of fold that over. Okay, that's going to make a nice little wonton. Let's grab another one. Point to point. There it is. All right, get your edges lined up and just squeeze down and meet those 2 moist little edges together. There's a nice little wonton. That's going to be great. See how easy this is? Like I said, fun for the whole family. Your children will enjoy a little bit of handwork. Keep them busy, having some fun. Let them learn a little bit with you. All right, and then they, you say, what would you like to put in it? And let them have a hand in the decision of how to get creative. Okay, here we are. We've got 3 and 3 more. I'm just folding it over, grabbing it point to point, and pushing along the edge and keeping that meat in the middle. All right, those 2 wet edges of that wrapper just come together nicely. And again, this is a great way to do ravioli. And you can have it square, you can punch them out round. Either way. This is wonderful. All right, this is why cooking is fun. Okay, it's a labor of love. It's a labor of love. And speaking of love, we're going to take a quick look now. We're going to take a quick break. Our broth is smelling really good behind me. The shallots and the cilantro and the chicken broth have rendered a little bit, or just you know, the flavors have come together. We've got 6 wontons right here, but I want to show you something. Hold on. Speaking of love, that's my main ingredient. I love what I do. I put my love energy into the food, and so you can taste it. This plaque is what inspires it. It was my grandmother's. Superior foods and beverages served in this kitchen with love. And that's what she did, and that's what I'm doing right here at What's Cooking. Let's get back to the wontons. And here's the 6 wontons. That was pretty quick and easy. They look great, and they're ready for the chicken broth. So while the wontons are poaching in the chicken broth, let's get some pea pods ready to put in as well. All right, here we go. I think I want to take off the stem and chop them in half. That way, you can eat them with one bite, rather than, you know, having something long in your mouth. I think the halves are just right. So take off the stem, chop it in half. Here we go. I don't mind a little natural piece on the other end. I think it's just fine. So let's do, a dozen of these. So that'll give us 24 pieces. And that'll be just right for what we have. This is going to be great. Everybody loves to go out to eat for Chinese, but boy, when you're really stuck in the kitchen this winter, or any time of year that you're stuck at home under the weather and you want to cook, oh boy, it's nice to be able to create everything that you love right at home. Don't be afraid, be adventurous. So let's add the pea pods right in. As you can see, the wontons are floating, and just like ravioli, when they're floating, they're about done. We've got meat filling in there. We want to make sure that's cooked through. All right, so for just a few minutes, these pea pods will poach in there, and then we'll soften up. And you can see how pretty that's going to be, and how nice. Oh, that smells fantastic. That's going to be great. Okay, I'm back at the prep island, and we're just chopping up some scallion to finish our wonton soup with. Just right. There we go. So let's get ready to put our wonton soup in a bowl and top it with our scallion. And by the way, this set is called Asian Dawn, so it's perfect for this Asian food week, and you know, the bowl and the plate. And don't have the full set, but it's been almost 30 years, and it's our good old set from our wedding. And here we go. Wonton soup. Oh boy. Let's get a couple of wontons and some pea pods in there. This smells so good. Oh, love my pea pods. Let's see, 2 wontons? Yeah, 2 wontons looks nice. They're nice and big. It smells great. You got that ginger and the scallion and oh, the broth. It just smells terrific. Okay, here we go, and finish it off with a nice pinch of scallion. I like a little extra scallion in mine. Oh boy, does that look nice. And let's give it a taste. Isn't that wonton nice? All right, see that filling? Nicely cooked. All right, a little bit of pea pod. The broth is nicely flavored. Delish. Tender and tasty. Well, that's what's cooking. It's Asian week. Stay tuned for my other 2 dishes. The tumo noodle, and of course the nem chow. And this wonton soup is great. You're really going to be happy with it. You'll make it often and your family will love it. And that's your wonton soup. And that's what's cooking. I'll see you around Belmont Market or right back here in my kitchen. Thanks for watching.